Hey guys, this is Daniel with Pwn CNC and I'm here with my Onefinity Elite machine and I have got an upgrade for you. This is our Inlets panel. It has 24 12mm holes allowing you to wire in a variety of accessories that we have planned for the next 6 to 8 months. Stay tuned for all of those later. In fact, if you stick around for the end of this video, I have got 2 of them I'll be releasing with the Inlets panel today. Let's get into the install. I've got my Onefinity Elite controller. Here's the inlet panel for the Elite side down here in the bottom. You'll notice I've got my inlet panel for my ATC and my tool setter down here at the bottom. But I've pulled the Onefinity Visa mount, pull that off, save this for later. We're going to take our Inlets panel, separate the cover, and you'll notice here is the back side. We have some risers which hold the cover on, and through these 4 holes, these Visa 100mm mount screws right here, we're going to line that up with the 4 Visa holes on the back of the Masso. But we're going to take one of these risers, drop it through the hole in the panel, through the Masso. I'm going to lift this up. We're going to take one of our M4 locking nuts here and thread that right onto that riser. Now before we tighten anything down, we're going to do that to all 4. Take a pair of pliers and a crescent wrench and we're going to tighten that down. One side, with pliers I'm going to hold the riser, and with the other side, and tighten that down. All right, I've got all 4 risers mounted and the panel is nice and secure. I'm going to go ahead and move one of my inlets here. I'm going to decide which side I'm going to put it on. Let's see, let's put it over here on the right side. That's a good place for it. Take a pair of pliers, kind of push that hole cover off, wiggle it off, and it'll basically tear right off. You can throw that away. That opens up one of our holes here. I'm going to pop off the inlet panel here. Take a picture before I take it apart. Here we are with our inlet, or our older inlet panel. Let's remove this nut. We're going to feed it through our new hole. I need to put the nut back onto it. We can run these wires right back down into either one of these large trays, or I'm sorry, into these large rectangular openings. Feed the wire all the way through. That's how all of the wires will feed. They'll come right into the inlet, go right down this channel, and down and into the Onefinity stock inlet port, and down and inside of the Masso. Now we can wire everything back together. Got that all wired up. Next, we're going to take our panel here, our cover. We're going to place the cover on and just kind of line it up so that we've got 4 screws here, down 2 in the middle, 2 up at the top. We're going to use these triangle screws that were included, 2.5-inch hex wrench. We're going to put these triangle screws onto the risers. I'm going to take the stock mounts here. I'm going to line it up with the holes, and I'm going to take the included M4 screws, which require an M3 hex wrench, the M4 by 14 socket head screws, and I'm going to put that right through the Visa mount down into the steel riser. Now, once you got all 4 of those mounts on there, now we can take our 3D printed cover and a couple more of the M4 socket head screws And we're going to place that cover right on top of the two rectangular holes. See the two rectangular holes, and of course our opening here for all our wires to feed through. There's enough of a gap here so that it doesn't squeeze the wires. It provides plenty of room for those things to feed right in and down into the Masso. There we go. Now we got all the wires protected by this plastic cover, held on with our aluminum cover. We got our inlets right here. We've got our mount right here. Our spindle port is still down here, but if you prefer, you can unscrew that inlet and move it up here as well. So you can have everything nicely organized right on the sides. We're ready to reinstall it back onto our machine. We can take it, mount it back onto the mount. It extended it out just a tiny bit, maybe about an inch, but nothing more. That way we've got plenty of room. We can still use all of the stock cables. All right, without further ado, I have got our two new accessories. So the things that there are two accessories that I'm releasing with the ATC panel itself, the Inlets panel. And that is our chiller alarm cable. So this product is basically a couple of cables. So we've got the inlet cable, which we've already installed, and this cable here, a GX12 3-pin connector on one side, GX16 3-pin connector on the other. Now the 16 side will plug into the chiller, and the GX12 side will plug into the inlet that we installed on the back of the Masso. Here on the back of the chiller, and we've got the alarm outlet. So that's where we take the GX16, plug that in, wired into our inlet here. We'll program it here in just a moment. The second accessory we're releasing today is an external e-stop. So of course we were familiar with the Masso Touch's e-stop here on the front panel, but did you know you can install additional e-stops? We're going to plug that right into our inlet that we installed earlier, and now we can position this e-stop anywhere we wish that would be more convenient. All right, we've got both of them plugged in. We're going to turn on our controller here. Better angle. We've got our e-stop, and our chiller wire. Now I've turned off the homing at start, so we're just going to hit the e-stop, which will trigger, turn it off. Same thing works with the original. Both work properly. We're going to go into setup. We need to program our chiller. Now our chiller I have wired up to the input number 18. So we're going to come over here to our inlet, go down to 18, double tap it. Now we should be able to find it in the list. There it is. Spindle coolant flow alarm. Select that. And it should be high right now because I've got it turned off. So it is indeed not flowing. Now nothing will happen in the system until you it's needed. So it doesn't actually check that sensor until you're actually trying to run the spindle. Hit CW. There it goes. After a few moments, it will actually check that the coolant is actually flowing. And you'll notice since my chiller is turned off, I am now getting the alarm that it's not flowing. So I hope you see that we are working extremely hard here at Pwn CNC to come out with some really innovative and some cool features that you can add to your hobby CNC machine. This is, of course, for the Elite, Onefinity Elite, but that same inlet panel may fit onto other machines like the Millwright or even your own home-built Masso Touch controlled CNC machine. And we're happy to help. And of course, all of those accessories we'll be releasing over the next 6 to 8 months. As we develop them and as we source the parts and get them posted up on our website, we'll release more videos just to make everything more interesting. Yeah, so remember, don't just own your CNC, dominate it.